The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this?
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Time with Blind United. Of course, I'm your host, Ed, and looks like I'm in here by myself today. So we're going to do our best to make sure we get through this. So anyway, let me start off with our interest groups for today. Excuse me, my throat is a little scratchy this morning, but anyway, we have 3 interest groups today. It's actually ladies' night. Some we got started last month, so we add to it starting tonight with Relicia Hicks. She's going to be doing fitness, and that's going to be at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And then right behind her, we got Aletha Donaldson with makeup and skincare. And then at 6 o'clock, to close it off, we have a ladies support group with Miss Vanetta Davis Del Castillo. So anyway, she's at 6 p.m. So please, y'all come on in, hang out with the ladies tonight. Well, all the ladies come in and hang out. And, man, enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Do what ladies do and get your workout on, get that body right, you know what I'm saying? Then you can follow up with some makeup tips and skincare tips and all that good stuff, and then close it off with round it off, however you want to put it, with the lady support group, and you know, having a safe place for ladies to discuss, you know, things that go on within a female and things that you need to talk about without any men around, all that good stuff. So anyway, come on in and check it out and, man, enjoy yourself. So other than that, it's a quiet Tuesday. Got a couple things I need to do a little bit later on after we get through with this show. So, but until then, I'm going to just be here hanging out, doing what we do. So we do have a couple things coming up shortly well, I'm saying shortly, it's in October, but we have got a couple things planned out. You know, like I said, we just finished off with our VA House bus trip. That was a great success. Man, nothing like seeing a bunch of blind folks coming together and doing something and having fun. Man, over 70 people, y'all. Over 70 people showed up out there. We had 2 buses. We rode down to VA House down in San Diego, and man, we just had a ball. I mean, we had some folks win some money. We had some folks that went across the street to the outlet center and did a bunch of shopping. You know what I'm saying? So whatever your flavor was, whether it was hanging out in the casino, at the slot machines, or the tables, or running across the street, like I say, over to the outlet center and getting your designer shopping on. People had a lot of fun. There was some good restaurants and stuff over there, so everybody was getting their eat on as well. Like I said, I spent most of my time this time in the casino. It was just hot over there at the outlet center. Went over there for a little while and was going to do a little bit of shopping, but it was just, like I said, a little bit too hot. So I said, you know what? Let me go back over here to the casino where it's nice and air conditioning, and went over there and hung out. Went by the bar and had a couple drinks and enjoyed ourselves, had some conversation with some good people, and left up out of there, got us a bite to eat over at the casino, and then went and got our little gamble on before we got up out of there. Loaded them 2 buses back up, didn't leave nobody behind, didn't have nobody on the wrong bus, none of that. Blind folks, we are amazing. We're resilient. We can make it happen when we want to. And again, we was 70 people. Everybody was well organized. Everybody got right back on their proper bus. And man, we headed up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Made our way back. Everybody had a good time partying and singing and passing out door prizes and stuff like that on the way back. So again, we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So anyway, we got a new event coming up. I was hoping to have a commercial for it, but I didn't get it done in time. So I'm just going to tell you about it. There's a thing that me and my co-founders, we started a while back before we actually even knew we were going to do this nonprofit Blind United. We did a thing, on White Cane Day. I've been to a few different White Cane events, and I don't know, it just didn't serve the purpose, of getting the message out. You know what I mean? It didn't create any real awareness, amongst the sighted community as to who we are and what we do, and the way we have to live our life now, So we sat down and we thought about it, and that old saying kind of popped in my head, if you only walked a mile in my shoes. And it just kind of stuck. And we created an event, and we actually call it Walk a Mile in My Shoes challenge, actually. So anyway, we started that a few years back before we started Blind United. So this will be actually our first one under the Blind United banner. But like I said, we've done it several times. So we're not new at this. We're true to this. So anyway, so what the Walk a Mile Challenge is, we go out within the community. We invite our local legislators, city council, mayor, local politicians, whether it be, a state representative or a national rep, We invite them to come out. We invite business owners. We invite different, community leaders, stuff like that. And also family members of blind folks that maybe your family members just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you try to explain to them about, look, you need things this way or you need things that way. And they sit there and tell you, oh, that's petty or whatever the case may be, as they continue to do things the way they do them. And we still continue to struggle, to coexist in a household with them, right? I mean, leaving cabinets open, leaving drawers open, leaving doors halfway open, moving stuff around, rather than having a designated place for things. It's easy for them. They can walk around and they can look. Oh, there it is, right there. Boom, grab it. Okay, cool. No harm, no foul. But we can't do that. We have to actually have things in a specific location. And we put in, like in my room here in my house. Nobody comes in here, nobody moves nothing. But yet, every time somebody comes in and asks me something, I can tell them exactly where it is. You know, I can't say that about the rest of my house. It's amazing. I mean, even with my children, my grandchildren growing up with me being this way, they still, they're caught up in their sighted world, right? So anyway, this is about that. It's about bringing them in. We put sleep shades on them. We take them into a kitchen area. We have, what we call challenge stations. So one of them being ILS. So that's kitchen. We'll take you in the kitchen and, see if you can put a sleep shade on and, pour yourself a glass of water being blindfolded, Uh, so and then from there we go into good morning, George. Thanks for joining me, my brother. So just talking about walk a mile. So anyway, then we like I said, pour yourself a glass of water with being blindfolded, or how about maybe trying to operate the microwave, with a touch screen on it, and not being able to see it, and then like I said, we go through some other challenges as far as showing you how we operate a computer. You know what I'm saying? Without a mouse, and then maybe the iPhone thing. If you have an iPhone, we bring you in and we turn your voiceover on and turn your screen curtain on where you can't see the screen no more, and say, okay, send me a text message or something like that. And then the ultimate challenge is we take you out back. We give you a white cane. We give you a quick mobility lesson. Slide them sleep shades down over your eyes, and then we take you for a walk. You know what I'm saying? We take you and we walk down the block, and then we get down on one of the busy main streets and let you hear the cars driving by real fast, going over the railroad tracks, all that kind of good stuff. Move down to the corner where we have an intersection where we do actually have an audible signal, so you can get an experience of what that's like, being able to travel and try to cross the street by listening to the tones that are coming from the signal. And ultimately, we make our way back to the center. So anyway, come out and join us for that one. If you want to know more about it, or would like to participate, or maybe if you might want to have a table there, reach out to info@blindunited.org, and in the subject matter, just put more info for Blind United Walk a Mile, and we'll make sure we get all that stuff to you. So anyway, how you doing this morning, my brother?
Hey, how you doing? I'm still working in the background. Go ahead, keep on talking. Sorry about that.
You say you're working in the background. Okay. So other than that, no, that's it for the walk a mile. But then I got a new promo that I did get put up for another event we got coming up in October. So I'm gonna play that one for you guys right quick, as well as the social media stuff. Let me get to it here.
Well, anyway, as you're doing that, what I'm trying to do is share this to the Blind United interest group and the Facebook page. But real quick, Mr. Davis, you said two things that didn't really catch people's ears if it did. So you said the word struggle. And I don't really like to use that word for us, but in this case, it does make sense. Struggle means that we have to struggle with people's ignorance. And I'm not saying it within the household, but I'm thinking in general, for it comes politicians. Well, yeah, politicians, employers, educators. So when I say ignorance, folks, I don't mean that in a negative way. That's a teachable moment. But what that means is that, for example, if I try looking for a job, 9 out of 10 times I might not get it because of perception. If I go for housing, I may get denied because of housing, perception. This happened to me, by the way. I'll give you a quick story on that one. I guess it's a struggle. I went to apply for a home, for an apartment. I was working, this is back mid 90s. I was working at Kmart, so I had income. And so I went to apply. And mind you, folks, I had really thick glasses back then. Now I can't see, but back then I had really thick glasses. So I applied. I passed the credit check, all that good stuff, because I was told. And so it gave it a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks, and no response from the apartment complex. And so, mind you, I could see, right? I want to emphasize that for a reason. So I went back. I asked my mom to take me to go back to the apartment. So I walk in, and I see the young man that was helping me to my right. And I'm assuming the manager was to my left because she was talking on the phone. As I walked in, the gentleman to my right that was helping me, he put his hand up, like, back up, go outside. He pointed outside. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh, because that was weird. So I walked outside. I told my mom. And so I'm standing by the front door, and he comes out. He goes, you know what, Mr. Savala, I just want to let you know that you got approved. I'm like, good. That's why I came. What can I look at the apartments? Because, yeah, but the manager won't let you move in. I'm like, why? Because she goes, well, she's afraid that because you can't see that good, you might burn the apartments down. And just what I said, folks. Listen to what I just said. Because I might burn the place down. So how do you think I felt as a human? Forget about my disability as a human. Okay, when you get fired for being blind, which I was twice, and we had to go to court, and thank you, they paid for my tile here at the house. But what I'm saying is, as a human, how do you think I felt? Not as a blind person or a disabled, as a human, how do you think I felt when saying, you're not as equal as others, so we have to fire you, get rid of you? So that's what I'm saying. When you say the word struggle, Mr. Davis, and I'm glad you're having that event. Because hell no, I ain't walking no mile. As I did a very walk for 10 feet. But it's good that you're having that because it feeds into the misperception. And I'll say this again, folks, if you've heard this, say this many a time.
Well, before you go to that word, how about this one? Struggling with people's lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness, that's a good word. Thank you, sir. That's a good way. Yeah, because ignorance is kind of negative, right? It's like, Republican. But anyways, but the thing is, for us to proceed in life, folks, we have to encounter those barriers. And when I talk or when I ever have that opportunity when I'm in front of a group of people, I'll always ask this question. And I've never yet had anyone tell me the correct answer. Well, I shouldn't say the correct answer, but I always ask, what's the biggest perception or what's the biggest barriers for people with disabilities? And you get, the common responses, doorways not being wide enough or restrooms not being accessible or just printed material not having the QR code or whatever. And I say incorrect. What do you mean? I cannot get into the restroom because it's not big enough. Yeah, but that's a barrier. That's a physical barrier. That could be changed. You could go to a carpenter and they could change that. But perception? We all know about perception now with politics and all that, but imagine perception when you're a blind person and this person says, well, she's blind, so that means he can't think. Right? You've heard this, Mr. Davis.
Yep.
Or he's blind. He's blind. He can't work. What's wrong with you? He's blind. You can't be a doctor. You can't be an educator. You can't be a lawyer. I know all of those. I know an educator, Mr. Bautista. I know a lawyer. I even know a doctor that are blind. So I'm glad you're having that event, Mr. Davis. I might steal that here in El Paso. Eventually, you have to come down here. But the point is, the reason why it's important to have those type of events is so people understand. You can't really understand. I guess that's the right word. How we live our everyday life. You can't just put on blinders for a day or for 10 minutes. Oh, okay, I understand. No, that's not the same thing. But it gives you a glimpse. Right?
Right.
But because I've had a person tell me they work for the local agency here. And like, George, I worked for 40 years. 40 years with people that are blind. So I understand where you're coming from. I'm like, no, you don't. You could go home and you take those blinders off at 5 o'clock at night or in the afternoon, go home and you can see. You could drive home. I got to keep those blinders off 24/7.
That's it.
It's not, we're not trying to be negative, folks, but just to understand why sometimes we get frustrated. Like Pedro one time, he got frustrated because they didn't want to help him in the store, and then you gotta understand, it's frustrating because we could do it, is it? But we just need help, and when someone says no, we can't help you, or like me, it was I almost said the company. Oof, never mind. They're a company that provides uh, web pages for cheap, hint, hint. So I had gotten the website to that company, and I had called because there was a particular portion of their web builder that wasn't accessible, and it was just a button, folks, a simple button. Okay, so my wife wasn't here, so I called them up, and you know what? Can you help me out? Well, sir, no, we can't. But you can always call our web development section, and they could be there's a little bit a minimal fee. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I have to pay someone to push that button because I'm blind? You can't push it for me? Oh no, that's against our policy and procedures. But stupid stuff like that, Mr. Davis.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
You
We
know?
dealt with it, on that. We've dealt with it on other things. Again, we're struggling with people's lack of awareness for not only our needs, but our abilities. I mean, again, come on. I challenge any of you to come and leave from my house as I do on a regular basis, take an Uber or Lyft, whatever, to the train station, make your way to the train, get on the correct car on the train, ride that train all the way into LA, and then navigate Union Station out front where I can pick up my next ride to continue my journey. I challenge any of you to do that with sleep shades on. I'm total. I can't see nothing. Okay. But I do that on a regular basis, right?
And Mr.
People
Dad, I gotta
don't.
give you credit for that because when you told me to do that, because here in El Paso we don't have trains and whatnot. But I have a hard time walking to my restroom, let alone being on the train and yeah. And of course, I'm being funny. But the point is, just because we're blind folks doesn't mean that we can't do stuff. And like Mr. Davis says, think about this here in El Paso, folks. Get on the train and go into a different city altogether, right? And here in El Paso, we have our buses. We have people having a hard time getting on buses. But again, those are challenges that we can overcome. And I hate now. I don't know about you, Mr. Davis, but when someone says, "Oh, George, you're such an inspiration," I don't like that. You know why?
I don't either.
Because I'm an example of what
That's
someone can
it.
do. I'm not an
That
inspiration.
I'm
I'm an
not an
example.
inspiration. I'm an example. You
So that
know,
means if I put away my trash and wash my dishes, I'm an inspiration. No, because that's what you have to do. And another thing, folks, is to remember we have to accept where we're at. Now, what I mean by that, long term, of course, there's a process to accepting where you're at. But what I mean is, for me, I'm blind. I have to move forward. I have to make the best of life. It's not by choice. I have to, right?
we don't
I
have a
have to.
choice.
I don't have a choice. Now there is
Well,
another
we
choice
do
where
have a
I can.
choice. We
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go in
yeah.
the backyard and dig a hole and lay down.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. There is a choice for that. But what I'm saying is, we as folks with disabilities, I'm making this universal. We can make our life better by being more what kind of go outside those boundaries, folks. Don't live on people's perceptions. Just because I can't see or I can't walk or I can't hear, so don't make it seem like just because someone else says I can't do it, I can't do it, right? Like
right.
right now with Mr. Davis, he was by himself, so I jumped in because I know he can't do it by himself. So I needed help, not really. But the point is, we as people that are blind have to go beyond those barriers and use technology, like Mr. Davis was saying earlier about. You said something about technology, didn't you, Mr. Davis? Of what I
Yeah, I
was.
was talking about, our computer, using JAWS and, the iPhone, same device that a lot of other people use.
Yeah.
We just use them in different ways.
And not for nothing. Think about this, guys. Blind United. It's a nonprofit organization. It does Zoom sessions, Zoom meetings, or groups, which are awesome in itself. But you have a gentleman that's totally blind that's running this whole thing. Of course, we have a team, right? With Britt and Miss
Right, we got a great
Cheryl and
team. Yeah, we
yeah,
got there's 7 of us,
and the thing is,
but that's not even counting our interest group
of
leaders.
course, but what I'm saying is all this. What I'm getting to is this whole group, folks. This whole organization is run by blind people.
All but
Now,
one.
yes, blind is considered low vision and blind, but I'm using a generic term, blind. That this whole group, this organization is run by us. Okay, so that should give you a lot of inspiration and do go beyond your own barriers, folks. And I'm glad you mentioned that today, Mr. Because I know, are there any groups today?
Yeah, ladies' night tonight. We got 3 groups all dedicated to the ladies. We got fitness, we got
Oh, that's
makeup and
right.
skincare, and then we got lady support.
Oh, the makeup party. Isn't that the one you wanted to get into last time? I think so, wasn't it?
The
Anyways,
what?
the makeup, wasn't that the one you were telling me about that you liked the last time?
Well, I like the lady that puts it on. I mean, she's a great friend of mine, but do I participate? No, I do not
Uh,
participate, George.
but what I mean is,
I
uh,
created lady night, so I get a night off. How about that one?
there you go. But what is, folks, think about what we just said about the groups. There's over 20 groups throughout the week, throughout the month. There's different technology, and like today, ladies' night. There's movie night. There's the real big one is Fork Group with Mr. Dominic. I mean, it's a huge group. But what I'm saying is, if you feel lonely, folks, and just you should email out to info@blindunited.org. And where's Brittany? She's supposed to be doing that part. She's our
Social
voiceover
media
person.
person.
Yeah. So and Pedro, I hope you're doing good, Mr. Pedro and Monica. The thing is, folks, if you're at home or you know someone that's at home that doesn't want to leave because they're processing the vision loss, let them know about Blind United and have those interest groups. I wish we should have done that here in El Paso, right? Have those interest groups virtually, because that's more convenient, right? Sit at home. You have we have a way we call in or to the Zoom link
Well, but
and
right,
join in.
Zoom is our bridge to close the gap. You know what I'm saying? We again, that George is how we met, my brother. You came into something that we were putting on, we were sponsoring. You liked what we had going on, and you've been with us ever since. Now we got you and Mr. Bautista out of El Paso. We got Carol and a few others out of Dallas. We got and then also, again, we got folks from other states across the country. I mean, from the East Coast to the West Coast,
Florida,
from
Kentucky, Tennessee, New York,
all of that.
Michigan.
I mean, Indiana, Chicago, I mean, it's just Idaho. We got folks from.
Oh, but wait a minute, Mr. Davis, watch out, man, because if Trump takes over, he might think we're all immigrants from different states.
Well, I mean, he definitely gonna round you up, my brother. I'm sorry, but I'll come down there and defend you. I'll stand in the way and say, no, he's one of us.
Well, don't worry. Back in the 50s, real quick, folks. Right back in the 50s, they call it the Wetback Express. Look it up if
Yeah.
you don't believe me. And what they were doing throughout the Southwest, Texas, Arizona, California, they were picking up quote unquote people that are Mexican, even though we might not have been, and they sent them back to Mexico. And a friend of mine, his father, his father was in L.A., legal resident. They got him, drove him to Mexico, and that's how he ended up here in El Paso. But and again, going back to that word perception. Ooh, all Mexicans are bad. All immigrants. But anyways, I don't want to go into politics. But going back to what we're talking about, Mr. Davis, the technology.
It's all about perception. I mean, again, people, I mean, number one, just, from what I've remember when I had sight, and in conversations I've had with people, blindness is actually the number one feared disability. Okay. People are more scared of being blind than they are of being quadriplegic.
Yeah, because they'll say, oh, no, I don't know what I'll do if I'm blind. I won't be able to. I guess not being able to see the world makes a difference, I guess. Me and you've been there, right? We've been sighted. And
Yeah.
then now we're blind. So to me and Mr. Davis, we're like, and What's the big deal? I mean, I rather. Yeah, so any disability is bad, no matter what it is, right? But still, at the end of the day, we have to learn how to live with it, accept it,
I
learn
mean,
how to
any
live.
disability is a challenge that we have to learn to overcome.
Exactly.
You
That's
know,
it. It's no big deal.
and then how do we do that? We adapt, adjust, and move on.
Exactly. Now, those words may be easy for us to say, but someone that's transitioning, I understand it's hard, and those who are listening that have family or friends, be conscious of that, folks. Be conscious of that process of that crossing that bridge to blindness, and they might say things that you don't understand, like I can't believe I won't be able to drive, or I can't believe I won't be able. Understand what they're saying. Don't be like, oh, you're just being a wuss, or no. Let them process it. Be there for them. If you have to hold their hands, like we've done many a time
We
here on
all went through this, the depression of losing our sight totally. I mean, I became legally blind back in 1984.
Dang, I wasn't
Okay.
even born yet, Mr.
I
Davis.
lost my vision in 2008 when I became total. Okay. But my point being, when I went total, I went through depression again, even though I've been legally blind for 40 years.
But I think for you, Mr. Davis, it might be a little bit difficult than me because I was born with low vision. Now, granted, it's difficult. It's difficult, right? But for me, I always had that understanding that doctors would tell me that one day you might get to that point, right? So I had that in
Right?
my head, like, you know what, George, one of these days you're gonna get there, but with like someone like yourself that was fully sighted, I think that might be a little more. Isn't it? It was harder, wasn't it? I would think.
Well, I mean, again, so if you want to get into the depression thing, yes, I went through a couple different times of depression. I mean, because again, at 84, when I had my accident and lost my sight, became legally blind. I mean, thank God to the doctors, that worked on me after my accident. I did regain my vision, but I was legally blind from that point on. But because I could no longer be the breadwinner, you know what I'm saying? The man of the house, whatever you want to call it. I could no longer support my family. I went through a lot of depression. You know what I'm saying? I mean, woe is
Hold on,
me.
Mr. Davis. Hold on. I want you to stop there. I'm glad you said that. So during the here in El Paso with El Paso Vive, we've had people that reach out to us, and it's funny you said that, Mr. Davis. I had a gentleman 2 weeks ago tell me the same word per word. I'm the breadwinner. Breadwinner. What am I going to do now? Now, listen to what Mr. Davis said. As the breadwinner, as a man, that responsibility. Now, I'm not trying to be chauvinistic, or don't get me wrong, but traditionally, right, the man takes care of the home.
Traditionally, that's the way we were raised, you know.
So when you have a man that's providing, and all of a sudden he can't, it it draws a lot from him or her, right?
Right.
Let's go breadwinner. Let's go the breadwinner of the family, not the man. Let's say the person. But the thing is, now you're the breadwinner. You're taking care of the house. Now you can't. Not because you don't want to. It's because you literally can't. Because you had loss of vision because of an accident or a stroke, whatever, right? But that's from one day to the next. Imagine someone like myself transitioning general, little by little.
Over
Okay,
the
I'm gonna
course of
get there.
years.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there in 20 years in my head, right? But with you, you're just driving along and then life
Instantly.
changes. You know?
Life changed in the instant. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, again, not knowing anything about the community, not being, not being any resources available, nothing like that. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to turn. You just try to do the best you can and adapt. And thank God I had a beautiful wife. And, she stepped up and we made it happen. We were a
Mm-hmm.
team, but I eventually made my way and found a way to create an income to take care of my family and whatnot until I couldn't,
And
so
the thing about the real quick, Mr. J, sorry to cut you off, but we're talking about technology real quick on the sidebar. Facebook, I don't know what you did. You must have done an update. You broke. Now we're live. You can't see who's online now. Come on, Facebook. Get your crap straight here, man.
every day is something different with them. I mean, Meta
Dang, I'll
is,
tell you what.
since
Like right
they
now, I can't tell
all,
who's on, who's watching.
I don't know, since they went to Meta, it seemed like every day it's something different with them. But
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyways,
you
whoever's
know,
watching that can't tell it is, thank you for tuning in because we're on the Facebook page for Blind United and the Facebook group. Of
if you
course,
don't
thank you,
mind,
Meta.
drop your
Thank you, Meta.
name. Drop your name in the comments so we know who you are. If you don't mind,
Yeah,
we
because we
really
can't see who it
appreciate
is.
that,
So.
and that way we can give you your shout out that you deserve. So, but yeah, I mean, again, we went through that depression back then. It took me a while to get out of it. It took me 2 years before I got where I could actually drive a car again.
Mm-hmm.
Although I knew I would never drive a truck again, right? But anyway, I was able to find another way to make a living and whatever, take care of my family. And then '03, my driving was over. You know, it took me 5 years from there. I faded into darkness. You know, I mean, I had went to rehab before, you know, and they, man, they just wanted me to go to work, wanted me to go to work. I needed training. I needed to learn something that was going to sustain me for the rest of my life and take care of my family, you know, but all they
You
wanted
know,
me to do was go to work.
Mr. Davis, it's funny you said that because I had the same conversation about when someone's transition right away, go to work, go to school. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I tell them, back off. Let the person get where they're at mentally, physically, with their with their new limitation. Let them
Right,
process that first. Then we can worry about training and vocational and getting that money from the government. You know,
right.
the agency. Mr. Davis, you need to stop smoking cigarettes, okay? Or
No, I
broadcast.
just got a lot of phlegm in my throat this morning.
There's a smoke.
I don't. I
By the
quit
way,
smoking cigarettes years ago. What are you
how?
talking
Whoa,
about?
whoa, whoa! How's the smoke? I know you guys have. You should have smoke over there, right? The fires. How's that going?
Man, I ain't got no smoke in my house.
No, but it's near you.
It ain't bothering me. I don't smell it.
That's a, I should put down the shirt. I don't smell it.
Well, I
That's a good.
definitely can't see it. So if I don't smell it, I don't know about it.
No, that's a good. That's a good thing to put on the shirt. I don't smell it. But like my wife told me the other day, she was talking about. I forgot if she was talking about a friend or a relative. She said, and I've heard this before. She said, "I may be slow, but I ain't stupid."
Right.
I'm like, I want to change that too. I may be blind, but I ain't stupid, right?
Well,
So,
and I've said I might be dumb, but I ain't stupid. So,
right there you
you
go.
know,
But
but I mean, again, we're, back to what we was talking about. I mean, we all go through some sort of a
yes,
level of a depression. I mean, even you, George, like you said, yes, it was a more of a gradual thing. But once you got to a point to where, you can no longer just see where you're going and now totally had to depend on your cane or others, you went through a certain level of depression.
absolutely. And
You
I'm
know,
glad you said that, Mr. Diaz, because even though gradually I knew I was gonna get there, right? You know you're gonna get there. I still had the issue. I still had the process. Like, oh crap. Mine was gradual, folks, over
you're never
years.
ready for it when it happens. You're never ready for it.
No, I went to depression. I went to psychotherapy or therapy, and I thought of it of committing suicide because I'm like, oh, I can't live no more. But I'm glad I went through that process because you know why, folks? It made me appreciate life more. It's kind of funny me saying that, right? You're blind. What do you mean? Yes, I appreciate sounds. Like sometimes I'll sit there and hear the raindrops or hear the kids in the front yard playing, and I'm like, those are cool stuff. I could hear it, and my wife will say, "What are you doing?" I'm just listening. Like I'm looking right. I'm just listening, and I appreciate stuff now.
Well,
Right? I respect people now and more. I appreciate stuff more, my tangible stuff, because I
right.
know that someday that could go away. Like my
You
wife,
know what
God
I do
forbid.
for, what I've found, George, and I've said this many, many times. If I were to search blindness and find a blessing, the blessing is I can no longer judge people on their appearance.
Yep.
Now I have to listen to people. You know what I'm saying?
One time, Miss Davis, they're at the workforce. They're talking about customers and customers and customers and customers, right? And I stood up and I go, you know what? I have an advantage over all of you. They're like, what do you mean? They go, yeah, because if somebody walks in that's an immigrant, I don't know. I can't tell because they're dirty or they're this or they're fat or if someone comes in that's homeless, I can't tell. I just judge them on how Mr. Davis is what I hear. Like one time, I'll give you a quick story. I was waiting for before I got married. I was waiting in the parking lot for the paratransit to pick me up, and this gentleman came by. We started talking, And he was a nice gentleman. Hey, how you doing? How's the weather? Just talking. And the bus came. And he goes, I have to leave now. So he left me, and my bus was coming. And, they call you before they get you, right? So the guy left, the person I was talking to, and I was standing there just waiting for the bus. And all of a sudden I hear footsteps running towards me. I'm like, uh-oh. So I kind of backed up off the sidewalk. I go, maybe they want to pass me. Sometimes people run in the parking lot, for exercise.
Right.
So a guy walks up to me and goes, sir, you okay? And I'm like, is he talking to me? I go, yeah. He goes, okay, I just want to make sure because that homeless guy, I want to make sure he wasn't bothering you. And I'm like, oh, crap. That guy was homeless. I didn't know. I thought he was some cool guy walking down the sidewalk. Right? So what does that mean?
But again, I mean, like you said, we no longer have the ability to judge.
Now, Mr. Davis, now that could hurt us too. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, again,
Just keep it 100, folks. Just so people understand.
For me, George, you're gonna in your conversation, I'm gonna figure out who you are.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, sighted folks have to understand where we're coming from. So when we say things, we're like you said, Mr. Davis, we're responding to you, not your face or what you're wearing, or your makeup or no makeup or whatever. Let me give you an example. So for a while there, before the COVID and all this good stuff, well, bad stuff really, we were going to a place here by the house where they cut hair. Before I started shaving, going bald, I used to do fade. So this gentleman, his name was Bobby, really nice guy. So I was sitting there, and his voice, now to make fun of him, he was going, "Hey George, how you doing? How would you like your haircut?" So to me, I'm okay. In my head, like Mr. Davis said, I'm thinking he's an elderly man that smokes a lot, that used to smoke a lot, right? Because he had the smoker's voice. All right. So the third time, and Mr. Davis knows this because he's told me this, I say yes, sir, and no, ma'am. I call him Mr. Davis. I know this man for 3 years. I consider him a good friend, if not almost family, but I still call him Mr. Davis. That's just me. So I'm sitting there, and he's telling me, "How you like your haircut?" Yes, sir. Can I have it faded? And I guess that day he was in a bad mood, the barber, and he turns to my wife. He goes, "Can you please tell him how I look?" Right there. I'm like, what does that mean? So I turn to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, babe, he has pink hair, pink eyelashes." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm glad she told me that. Now I understand." But he got upset because he thought maybe I was making fun of him or kept saying sir.
So let me go here, just to be clear. You keep saying he. Was it a he or was it a she?
It was a gentleman. I guess he identified as a she.
He identifies as a female. Okay.
And see, I didn't know that, and I kept calling him sir out of respect. And thereafter, I said, "Ma'am," and then I didn't go back because I kind of got, he saw my cane. He could have told me, "Hey, George, you know what? Can you use my name after a while? Hey, George, you know what? This is how I am. And can you please call me?" I go, "Yeah, sure. Hey, I have no problem with that. But you can't get upset with me when I can't see you." I've had that many a time. My wife would tell me, I've had people come up to me, "Sir, can I help you?" "Oh, yes, ma'am. I'd like to." And he walks away, and my wife goes, "Babe, it was a guy." I don't know. And I'm not trying to be funny or disrespectful. What I hear is what I call you. If you sound like a duck, I want to call you a duck.
Right. And again, if you want to correct me, please do. I have no problem with it. If you sound like Barry White and you tell me your name is Betty, I'm going to call you Betty.
It's like Mr. Davis. Perfect example. Listen to the man. For almost a month, I thought he was. So my wife comes to me. She goes, "Babe, Mr. Davis, is he white?" I go, "Mr. Davis? No, he's black." I thought you're an elderly black man, Southern man. I go, "No." So one day I go, "Mr. Davis, my wife is tripping." She goes, "Yeah, I'm white, blonde hair and blue eyes."
Yes,
What?
sir.
But if you listen to him again, again,
product of my environment,
Again, and I have no problem with that.
Hear.
I mean, if you're even better, but that stuff doesn't matter to me, Mr. Davis, or other people. It just make sure you understand that when we listen to you,
character. That's all.
Yeah, that's all it is. But perception again, right? We take our voices perception, right? So, like, have you ever had somebody talk to you, Mr. Davis? You're like, they're full of BS, and then somebody will say, "How do you know?" Just the way they're talking.
Yeah. Well, how do you get that out of what they said? I mean, bottom line, it just don't make sense. It's it's totally illogical. It just doesn't make sense at all.
And the thing is, we're just trying to live our life. That's all we're trying to do. And and we appreciate people trying to help us. And if we applaud that, thank you. Real quick, another thing, as we're talking about living a day or living our lives. So if they say I'm going for the door, folks, at a store or any type of business, ask me. Oh, sir, do you want me to help you open the door? Yeah, you know what? Thank you. Or no, you know what? I got it. Because think about this. I'm reaching to get to the door, not knowing that you're there. You open it and you hit my hand, right? But if you say, you know what, hey, sir, you know, especially if you want to be more specific, hey, you blind man, you're fat
Well, here's
man.
a good example of that one, George. The other day, I was going out to get in a Uber, right? And my son's girlfriend, she goes and opens the door to the Uber. So I go grab the door handle and I go to pull it open. It's already open. It bounces out of my hand and closes.
There you go.
I mean, again, I don't know that she opened the door. She didn't say she opened the door, right? So when I
Mhm.
felt the door handle, what am I doing? I'm trying to open the door.
Exactly.
Had I known she opened the door, I'd have walked around the door and got in the car. But people just don't say anything. Again, we we might can't see you, but most of us can hear pretty good. I mean, yeah, I do need hearing aids. I hold my hand up. I'm going deaf too. I hope I can hold on to what little bit of hearing I got. But again, we respond to that. I've had people, when we're standing out somewhere and people start talking and then they get mad because they think we're ignoring them. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know you was talking to me.
Yep. Or this. I've told the story too, just so those new people are listening. So, like me, I don't know if you do that, Mr. Davis. If I hear a TV or someone talking, I look that way. It's a habit. Even though I can't see it, I just look at the TV or a person talking.
Well, I mean, it's force of habit from when we had sight, George.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So one day we're
What they call that muscle memory, actually.
yeah, there you go. And so we had gone to the firehouse. I think it's Firehouse Subs. Is that what it's called? Anyways, so we go and sit down and we're waiting for the order. And my wife goes, "Hey, you want me to get your drink?" I go, "Yeah, why not?" So I give her and then there's a game on. That's why she asked because I'm paying attention to the game. So I'm looking toward the camera or to the TV while she's getting the drinks. So I'm looking, and all of a
You're
sudden I hear
looking in the direction of the
of the
sound.
TV. Yeah, looking at the direction of the TV. And so I'm looking toward the TV to hear who's playing. Number one, that's our first thing, right, Mr. Davis? Who's playing first of all? What's the
Right,
score, right? I'm trying to capture that.
right.
And I got a tap on my shoulder. So I thought it was my wife. So I turned towards that way and to my left. I go, I want Coke. And the guy goes, "Hey, bro, why are you looking at my wife?" I'm like, "Oh, crap." So I get my cane right away. I show him, "Hey, man, I'm blind, man. I'm just looking toward the TV. No disrespect." I guess he felt bad. He's like, "Hey, do you want a dessert? I'll get you. If you want something, I'll get it for you." He felt bad, but talk to us, folks. If we're blind and it didn't, I have to put my cane away, so he finally see my cane, and you see this guy looking at his wife or girlfriend. Hey, what the hell? Come on, man. Just talk to us. That's all it is.
Right. Well, I mean, again, it's all about perception, and that's what Walk a Mile is about. It's about trying to change people's perception of, our community and create some awareness of what we are truly capable of.
Now,
I
is it really
mean,
a mile or no?
no, it's just from that slogan, well, if you only walk a mile in my shoes.
No, but I'm saying, but if you try to get people to go a mile, they're like, hell no, I have a hard time getting to the
No, no,
kitchen.
no, no. I don't even think it's a quarter mile that the walk actually is. I mean, from the center, we walk up to the corner, we cross over the railroad tracks, and then we come back down into the village, and then we come through the train station, and we're right back at the center. So,
Okay, that's the thing here in El Paso, Mr. David. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just a question, and I don't know. So we have several railroad tracks here in El Paso that come through the city. My
okay,
question is, and it's happened several times during the year here, people get hit by trains. How do you? If you're blind, you could feel it. If you're deaf, you could feel it. How do you get hit by a train?
Well, I mean, here again, we have signals, we have crossing gates, we have, the again, it makes ding, 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 and then the trains are required to blow their horns. And you can hear them horns, man, over a half a mile away.
And that's my point, because I used to live by railroad tracks, and you felt it maybe what? We weren't that close, of course, but we lived near. You could feel it, the moving of the house.
Right.
I never understood that. How the hell can you be on the? That might be another. It might be for an obvious reason, I guess. But
Well, I mean, because I know quite a few of the conductors on the train that I ride, there's actually a thing they call suicide by train.
exactly, that's how I was kind of hinting at it. Yeah. But it's unfortunate, right?
Yeah,
That,
I mean, just like you hear about the cops shooting some people. Some of it is suicide by cop.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
People are just tired of living their life. They don't necessarily have the whatever it takes to pull the trigger or whatever the case may be themselves. They just put themselves in a position where they're going to be executed or run over or whatever.
And when folks said, "Oh, they were cowards by doing that," being suicide, folks, we don't know. Mental health,
you don't know.
you don't know, man.
Mental health is, man, it's rapid in our country. It's just, I mean, we're way, way, way behind. Way behind in mental health.
What also contributes to that, Mr. Davis, or can, or maybe contributing to that, is technology. But with TikTok, like me and you, we grew up, we didn't have cell phones till maybe the mid '90s, or we were younger. We had to make up our own games. We didn't have, we didn't have like Xbox and PlayStations and all of this. We had sticks and stones, literally. Well, not stones. That's their time. We had sticks and balls. And we made up our own game, and
we
now
played marbles, and the girls played jacks, and
And then back in the day, what was the story? I don't know if your mom told you this. My stepdad or my uncle, really, he would tell me, the lights go out, you come home, or the lights come on, you come home. So at night, the street lights come out. All right, guys, gotta go home now.
At a certain period of certain age group, that was the key. I mean, when I was growing up at a certain age, I wasn't allowed off the block. I had to stay within the block.
And what I mean by technology, why I said that, folks, we have some kids that live in the block, and we live like maybe half a block or less than a school. There's kids at 11 o'clock at night playing outside. 11 o'clock, folks, on the school night. And where are the parents? I guarantee you they're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
But on the flip side of that, George, when I was in elementary school, so let's say even going to the 6th grade, that's 11 years old, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's more when I was, maybe 8 or 9, okay? I was literally riding a bus from LA into Venice, which was a good hour and a half ride on a train every morning. I had to get up. My parents were at work. I had to get up, get dressed, make my way to the bus stop, ride that bus, make my way to the school by myself.
Yep.
Today, I mean, I can't get my grandkids to even get on the bus to go to school. But they're in high school.
That's what I'm saying. And nowadays, like, you're right, Mr. Davis. Like, when I had to go to work, I had to take a bus, go downtown, take another bus, go all across town to go to work. Now kids drop me off in the front, pick me up in the front. And well, they don't understand the work, the hard work, of getting. Yes, I know, heard the story. It was 10 feet of snow, and I walked to school with no shoes when I was going to school back in the day.
Uphill both directions.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, and also with the technology or with social media. Let me rephrase that. With social media, I think the respect has lost. We have lost a lot of respect among ourselves. Like before, or like right now, if I go to the store 9 out of 10 times, well, I shouldn't say 9 out of 10. Majority of the times, Can I, I go to the service desk. Ma'am, sir? Yeah. Okay. Where's this? Over there in the corner. The saying, oh, yes, sir. Good morning. Oh, yes, sir. It's over there. It's just that respect has been lost so much,
There's no such thing as customer service anymore.
No,
I
no.
mean, it's everybody, if you don't like your job, go get another one. You know
Well,
what I'm
I tell
saying?
people, my wife would tell you, she kind of nudges me. Like, if I go to, like, Best Buy, one time we went, and the young man was like, if I was bothering him, I go, sir, I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? I thought it was customer service. And my wife was like kidding me, like, George, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I'm asking him a simple question. Am I bothering you? Right? Is service debt. Now, if you're a janitor or if you're something outside, and if I ask you a question where the
No,
TV,
here's the crazy, crazy, crazy part about it, George. Like you talking about Best Buy, right? They get a commission.
of
So
course,
you would think that their customer service skills would be, man, off the scale, right?
yep.
Because why? They want to earn that commission. But bottom line, they satisfied with whatever their little hourly wage is. They don't want to go above and beyond to try to help somebody, so they don't ever make any commission. And they wonder
Wait,
why they don't advance within the company.
now, by saying this, it's not everyone, but you remember those moments when someone actually does something like what you're like, wow. Like one time we went to Target and we asked the lady, we asked the lady where the mats for the floor. I forgot what you call them. I went blank.
The rugs,
The rugs. There you go. I'm sorry, rugs. The bathroom rugs. And
throw
we asked
rugs,
her,
bathroom rugs.
and the lady took us. She walked. Okay, me and my wife were following her. She walked over. Oh, they're right here. If you need me, I'll be 2 hours down. And she turned around. And I told my wife. Me and my wife were like, "Holy crap, that was cool." And when we left, we talked to the manager. And I told the manager, "It's amazing, that young lady. I don't know what her name was, but she actually took us to the spot, waited, and walked away instead of saying, 'Oh, aisle 4,' right?"
Right,
Like when I was at Kmart, our store manager, I guess that's where it was embedded in me. You walk him to that place because he would tell us, "I want to have Christmas Santa shoppers throughout the year, and if I hear you did not walk them to that place or said it's over there or it's not my department, you're fired." So that instilled in me. So every time somebody asked me, I literally walked them to the spot. "Ma'am, sir, this is the towels. Is this what you're looking for?" "Yes." "Okay, I'll be an hour if you need me." That's
right,
customer service,
right.
right?
Well, same thing. I mean, like we talk about this all the time as well. With a lot of our restaurants and stuff like that now, your servers. Don't get me wrong. I grew up. My mother was a server. My aunts were servers. I had cousins that were servers. They did that. I mean, again, so I understand how important it is to take care of your servers, right? But when you put that on my bill automatically, you take it out of the equation that they have to provide customer service or good quality service in order to earn that gratuity.
There's a restaurant we went to for a birthday party, Mr. Davis. Right, as of table 10, right, like you said, gratuity automatically added. This waiter we had, Lord have mercy. We had to ask him, "Hey, can we have some more water?" And we had to look around. My uncle was about to get up and go to the front and say, "We need some tea." And then when he'll come, he put the wrong place at the wrong place, and we're like, "Dang!" Just to let you know, folks, that restaurant, and those who are customer service, that impression, especially if it's a big family or a big group, it's an impression. Guess what? We're not going back to that restaurant anymore. But anyway, going back to the waiter, my uncle wanted to talk to the manager and say, "You know what? We're not going to pay what you guys are asking for the waiter because he didn't help us." The spoons. You know how we walk in, they give you the forks and spoons and a little towel or paper towel. They didn't even do that. We had to get it from other tables. But yet they wanted. There you go, the $9 gratuity.
Well, a percentage.
Well, no, now, no. Mr. Davis, they charge us $9 gratuity.
Well, now, what out here, it's a percentage. You get
No,
so
sir.
out here it's a minimum of 15%, depending on how big your party is, and it can go up to 23%.
Our bill was $60. It's been a while. I forgot how much. Well, I know it was around 16.94, but they had $9 in gratuity.
I mean, I hear you, but again, it's not that I'm against tipping. I'm all about tipping, but I only tip when you earn your
Exactly.
tip. You understand what I'm
And that's
saying?
you're right because there's some waitresses or waiters that are awesome. So if sir, and I even had one time, and she's still there at the Denny's. She puts the drink in front of me. She'll tell me, "Oh, right, sir, it's right there to your left hand," and then she puts the strawberry next to me. I'm like, you know what? That is cool. It's
Yeah,
not where they put the cup at the very corner, and I have to ask my wife, "Babe, where's the tea?" Oh, they put it at the end of the table.
right,
Really?
right, right, right. And I've had a few of them, okay, well, your water is right there at, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever, I've even had some set my plate down and tell me, okay, your meat is at 6 o'clock, your
Oh, that is
fries are at,
cool.
and so on and so forth. Man, I love that.
Yep, that is so cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
those people there, I wouldn't care if it was gratuity on the check or not. I'd still give them another tip. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
Because why? They went above and beyond to help and they earned it,
Yep. I
So,
agree with you. Yes, sir.
but anyway, George, I appreciate you, my brother.
No
It
problem.
is 10:01 here. So, I know,
Just go another hour. Why not? Not really. Just kidding. No, I had my customer. Uh, reschedule, and I'm real quick, Mr. Davis. We talked about this last week. I had another client that had COVID. Guess what? I
this one
got
got
another
covered.
client that has COVID. So, folks, it's especially going back to school. It's out there, man. It really is.
If you haven't, again, if you are inclined, as I am, man, go get your vaccination.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Actually, I heard that end of August, early September. That's what I'm waiting for. Hopefully, knock on wood, I
Well,
get
that's
that.
going to be the next one. Is actually it's coming up in the fall, but they do have one now. It's
They
for the
say that the new
summer.
one, the new variant, they call it "quote unquote" flirting viruses. Have you heard about that?
I know, but I just know that from the beginning, from the very very beginning of COVID, man, this virus just keeps what they call it mutating.
Yep.
It just keeps changing and changing and changing, and so therefore that's why we have to keep getting these vaccines because, again, it's mutating. So we have to get something that's going to, it's how can I say it?
Well,
It's like how about this one? You know how your body, if you keep taking a certain antibiotic, after a
yeah,
while
because
that
immune.
antibiotic doesn't work anymore. You develop
Mm-hmm.
an immunity to it.
Yep.
Well, bottom line, that's the same thing that this virus is doing. Okay, well, all right, well now we're just going to mutate because now that vaccine don't work with us no more. Now you
And
need
we're
to do something different.
and we're not talking about the mutant Ninja Turtles, so don't think about that, folks. But think about this, folks. Thankfully, well, I shouldn't say thankfully, but now with medicines, it's more treatable. Back in the day when there was it, right, 4 years ago, when you had COVID, it's like wow. And from El Paso, I don't know if you remember this, Mr. Davis. 2 or 3 years ago, we were the capital of the U.S. I think the United of the world in regards to per capita death. We had trailer
I
folks,
don't know, George. I think they were
trailer.
telling all of us in every city that. I don't know because we had it. It was pretty bad out here. It was pretty bad in L.A. And I was hearing that from a lot of different people.
Well,
So
see,
I
that's
mean,
the funny thing about it is well, not the funny thing. Makes the correlation real quick, folks. Is we had 4 trailers, 5 trailers are outside our county hospital. Trailers, folks, with bodies,
refrigerator trailers.
refrigerator trailers, the big ones, right? 4 or 5. But like Mr. Davis says, know your history. So I'm a history buff as it is. So the 2018 or 1918 Spanish flu. Guess what? Back then, this is out of the University of Pennsylvania. I saw an article. Guess who the main focus of COVID or Spanish, what do you call it? Spanish flu? Yeah.
Spanish flu
Guess
deaths.
who the main focus was? El Paso, Texas, back in 1918. Isn't that crazy? Wow.
I mean, again, it's and again, I know we're supposed to be hitting this button. I done already hit it once, but
Oh, no, we're
uh,
still on.
and we're still going. But my point being, throughout time, I mean, as we develop these things, right, then we develop these vaccines, and so on and so forth. I mean, again, I remember going through school, you had to get certain shots in
Yes,
order to
sir.
even go to school.
Yes, sir.
Right now, our military has to go through a whole regimen of vaccines before they can go overseas. If you go and book a plane to, say, Africa or something like that, you are given a list and you must get a certain number of vaccines before you can get on that plane to go over there. So when you want to sit and complain about, oh, I don't want to take the jab, I don't want to, dude, you act like this is something new. This is
Yep.
not new. We've been doing this for decades.
But you know what? Real quick, Mr. Davis, I'm glad you said that. So when we finish, folks, you want to Google 1918 Spanish flu. Look specifically for Pennsylvania or what's the city? I'm in blank. Where the Eagle? Oh, Philadelphia. Look, and you're gonna see, folks. It's so weird or ironic. The same methods to mitigate the spread now, where people are complaining, were the same they did back then. They closed schools. You couldn't walk out. You had to wear a mask. This is 29, or I keep saying 20, 1918, over 100
Right.
years ago. The
Self quarantine,
same,
all that
and
stuff.
they're like, oh, this is Republican. This is Democrat. Folks, know your history. It was the same method. Of course, the vaccine was different back then, right? But the same method: stay home, don't go to school, wear a mask if you're in public. And everybody here in 2020 or 2020, 2021, oh, these damn people, they're making us the government. Come on, man.
Get up off your high horse, realize it's just it's our interaction with our environment that's creating all of these various issues.
And one thing, we have to get credit, Mr. Davis. If you're listening, you have family, friends, or teachers, man, come on, give them a pat, give them a hug, because you know what, folks, they go to school, they're teachers. Like I have four cousins that are teachers. One of them's already sick with COVID, so they go back to school, folks. Man, we don't give them that much appreciation because
I mean,
they're
even without COVID, you think about teachers, man, how many times when you look at a group of young kids, right, especially let's say, elementary school, right, how many of them got the sniffles?
yep.
How many of them got snot running all out their nose? And
I mean, think about this, guys. Come on, we're gonna go back. Keep it 100. These kids would barely wipe their butt, and you want them to tell them to wash their hands.
yeah, yeah, that part,
And the thing is, a friend of my mom's friend, rest of her soul, my mom's friend, he would tell me, and this is what 2015, 2016. He told me, George, no matter what I do, he exercises, he runs, keeps him fit. He goes, George, no matter if I take medicine, wash my hands, every year he taught third or fourth grade back then. Every year I get sick. Imagine now with COVID, right?
I
So,
mean, again, knock on wood, here I am, 67 years old. It has not touched me. I mean, do I know people that lost their lives? Yes, I do.
yep,
Do I know people that caught it and got better? Yes, I do. Just me, I'm being honest. I mean, I'm elderly already. And then when they came and said, okay, well, we're going to give it to the people, I said, the elderly. And I said, okay, well, good. I'm going to be first. And, oh, no, they gave it to people that's in their 70s and 80s that were, older than me, right? And I had to wait. And then I said, you know what? I called down to the place where we're, local, where my insurance does it, right? I called them. I said, hey, let me get on that list. If somebody don't show up, give me a call. I'll break my neck to get down there. Okay. And that's exactly how I got my first vaccination. Somebody didn't show up. And me and my daughter went down there and we both got vaccinated the same day in the car, drive through.
yep. And the thing about that, Mr. Davis, is and I lost my train of thought, but people are saying about the vaccine is bad, is bad, is bad. I had a family member. I had two. I had my uncle and my cousin passed, and it's kind of bothersome when I say this, but the same people are saying about the vaccine, that oh, you people are stupid and this or that, whatever. Guess what? When someone they know dies, they're out there the next day getting the shot.
So,
I wonder why.
again, and then all of what we got the mother. Oh, they're putting all these little tiny robots, nanobots, and all of this stuff, and they're going to take over your brain. You're going to have the mark of the devil, and oh man, there's so much.
Man, you
Don't
should be
buy
worried about your
into the.
cell phone, Mr. David. Your cell phone has so much information on you folks. You, only for you, man. You know,
I mean, even let me go here. My daughter just turned me on to something that I actually enjoy. It helps out. I got location sharing with her.
yeah,
I can look at my phone right now and I can tell exactly where she's at.
very smart. That's a very technology, man.
You
Oh,
know what
talking
I'm
about
saying?
technology. Did you hear this, Mr. Davis? I was hoping Mr. Pedro would be here. I was hearing on NPR this morning or yesterday, this morning. Anyways, the Google Pixel, excuse me, only I guess only certain models. And I'm not sure when, if it's if it's now or in the future.
Must be yesterday because you told me about it yesterday.
Yes, okay. So the Google Pixel, folks, it's gonna allow you. So let's say I'm talking to Mr. Davis, and somebody called me on my other line. I could actually have Google Assistant answer it. They will talk to the person, and let's say that person says, "Oh, I'm outside with your groceries or whatever," right? A little transcript will pop on the screen, and they will give you options to respond, like saying, "Okay, leave it outside," or you guys. I'm like, wow, damn phone's even answering your calls now, and
AI, well,
that's AI, man. Yeah,
well, you heard about the latest thing that your boy says, right?
what is that?
That Kamala is using
Oh Lord, have
AI
mercy. Yeah, but the group, the
for
crowd.
her crowd size.
Oh man, you know, no. I'm just this is. I have a question, and maybe I'm being facetious or why does this guy worry so much about size?
Because if you listen to him, he says nobody's ever talked to the crowd as big as I have. I've talked to the biggest crowds ever. Boom, boom, boom. Everything he does, he's a narcissist. He has to have been the best. He has to have, everything has to be number one with him. He can't be number two in anything.
But so just in general politics, because I'm kind of have a little. I'm in the game now as a ADA consultant for campaign. So my question is, why do people go personal, right? Instead of talking about the policies and what they're gonna do, they go personal. Like what's going on was the vice president. She's stupid. She's not black. She's not this. Well, you know what? Let me ask you, how are you going to improve our lives instead of talking about the person? And then I'm not
He
talking about the
won't
president.
talk about that.
I'm talking about the president. I'm talking about our governor, our mayor, our city council. Don't go personal. Tell me how you're going to improve my life. Let me make the determination if that person's stupid or not black, right? But
Right.
you have yes, your obligation to tell me why am I going to vote for you. I'm not going to vote for you because you say Mr. Davis is stupid. That's not going to make my vote. If you tell me I can improve Mr. Davis' life by giving him money back in his pocket from insurance stuff like that, you know what? Okay, now I want to vote for you, right? I didn't mean to use Mr. Davis as an example, but
No, but you're right. I mean, in that the whole key to all of this is, George, all boys base. They love that.
no, I hear you.
They
And it's
love
sad. I mean, it's
that.
sad that we have to get to that point where
No, 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 no.
it has to be,
Here we go. We're talking about history, right?
yeah,
Remember what I told you. There was a whole group of people ever since slaves were freed that were called redemptionists.
yes, sir.
Okay, those folks, his base, are the descendants of those redemptionists. These are groups of people that still wish that black folks had no rights, still wish that women had no rights. Why do you think they're taking away women's right to choose?
Well, real quick, so you talk about history. Look at the early 19, I think it was 1916. Is that when the new amendment was done for the people, so women can vote? So women can vote, folks. Okay, let me say that again. That allowed women to vote. Now, 2024, now we're telling women you don't have the ability to talk about your own body. That's another situation, so we're not going to really go there. But let me tell you one thing: how in the world has the perception changed from the early 1900s to now when it comes to women. I just heard like 2 months ago that there was this particular Baptist convention or something in Louisiana where they do not allow women to be part of the leadership in the church. I forgot what church it was. I think Baptist or Presbyterian. I forgot.
Well, it's not Baptist because I know a lot of black
I forgot
women
what group it is. I'm sorry
in
to
Baptist,
say Baptist, but it was a particular religious group, a national, big group, and they were saying no, women cannot be pastors or whatever they want to call them. I apologize for not being the religious terms, but that tells you a lot, folks.
Well, I mean, there's still other religions, like say, what it calls a Judaism, Orthodox Jews and stuff like that. No, you can't.
Isn't it the
women cannot be rabbis?
The acrylic Jews, or what do they call them?
No, they're Orthodox.
No, but they're called Siddiq Jews. They're like real radical. The women can't do this, the men have to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, again, they're still Orthodox. I mean, it's the ones that walk around with the curls for sideburns and.
Do we have them here? No, those are not to confuse with the ones from Pennsylvania, the Amish. That's totally different.
Well, no, it's totally different hat. I mean, but anyway, and then even Catholics. I mean, you only have priests are all men. You never see a woman.
This morning, funny we're mentioning this, Mr. Davis. If people don't believe me, go to YTY, which is the Young Turks on YouTube, and look for the last 2 episodes. This morning, or probably last night when they uploaded it, they're talking about certain what do you call those people that go to the invalid? I can't say that word. The priests. They're like they go to stages. They have conventions. Evangelists.
Okay, evangelistic.
I'm sorry.
Evangelistic.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. There you go. So yeah, folks, I can't talk, but I could think. Trust me, I just some words. Anyways. So this gentleman goes from city to city and preaching, but yet he has the gall to say that he has 36 diamond fitted watches and a Bentley.
Right.
Think about that, folks. And who's paying for that?
His congregation.
Yeah, exactly. But if you need help, do they help?
How many homeless people can you feed with those watches?
Just one watch. I don't know, 36. Mind you, this same watch, folks, that they made a correlation to the Bentley. That brand of watch, if they put it into a Bentley, a part of the watch, in the Bentley, it's $240,000 to put in the Bentley. That watch, that maker, whatever it is, and he has 36 wristwatches of those.
Well, I mean, bottom line, if you call yourself being a Christian, then read your Bible.
Exactly. I think they were saying
all you own and sell it and come follow me.
Yep, exactly what they said, Mr. And then check this out. This same gentleman is not the only one. In 2023, he had a telethon. Guess why? Let me ask you why. What did he had a telethon for, Mr. Davis? Let me ask you real quick.
To raise money.
For what?
I don't know, probably build a new church or something and buy a new jet. One of them.
He promoted it. He was wanting to buy a new jet. Mind you, he really has a fleet of jets. And what I'm trying to say, folks, is kind of correlates to political stuff. No matter what you do and say, it is so obvious, people still follow you to the edge, and they fall off with you. Right? And I'm talking about a particular politician. People will listen to this person, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, and they'll follow him to the meat grinder. Amazing.
Not me. I'm sorry, not me. Whether it's a politician or a preacher, I don't care. If I don't see you doing work for the people, then I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? So, on that note, George, let's call this a day.
It went over. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we went over about 20 minutes, but it's all good. But I got to get up and get together, and I got to run out and pick up some stuff for my appointment on Friday.
Oh, that's right. All right, folks. Remember, Mr. Davis.
Appreciate everybody for coming in. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. And as long as you did, if you hung in for the whole thing, I really do appreciate you, George, my brother. I thank you for coming in and saving me once again.
No,
But
you done it for me too, brother. So don't worry
you know, I would have done it by myself.
No, you could have. You could have. But it's just a man.
It just makes it easier to have somebody to communicate with. You know what I'm saying?
You know, one time I did a podcast, and I'm talking away, Mr. Davis. I'm talking away, and I'm getting, impassionate, and it's just during COVID, right? And how dare these damn governments and whatever, just not giving the shot to everyone. And a friend calls me, kept calling me. What the hell? So I had my phone in my ear, the earpiece, so I hit it. And he goes, George, it's on mute. I'm like, crap. I was going for like 20 minutes talking.
So,
and it was on mute.
Well,
anyway.
We're not muted now, but we will be in just a minute. So again,
all right, folks.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Muchas gracias.
Have a good one.